What's going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 5-Minute Fantasies Week 15 Booming and Busting Running Backs. My start of the week I'm going to say is going to be Austin Ekeler. He had a great game last week against Jacksonville, and I think he's poised for another similar game this week. I don't think that the Chargers can beat or necessarily blow out at least Minnesota, but what I am looking at is Minnesota has a really great run defense, but they're a little bit more susceptible to giving up passing yards and passing points to running backs. So that being said, I'm also going to say you're going to want to sit Melvin Gordon, but Austin Ekeler, the receiving back, the number one actually receiving running back in the NFL so far through the 2019 season. I think he's going to be able to do well for you this week. I'm also going to say Kareem Hunt. The last several weeks, basically as long as Kareem Hunt's been back in this Cleveland Browns offense, he's slowly been more and more a vital role. They've slowly been bringing Nick Chubb out of the offense, and I think that Kareem Hunt is going to play a really nice role in versatility. Don't be surprised if he has a rushing and a receiving touchdown in this game. I'm going to say Joe Mixon up against New England. The only thing that New England's really susceptible to is really talented running backs. And that's what Joe Mixon is. He's had a pretty great season in terms of Bengals standards, and he's been having a good NFL season so far. So look for Joe Mixon to be putting up some decent points, either between the tackles or maybe a few receptions on the side. I don't expect him to run across the middle, getting too many receptions, but I think he'll be able to do some damage against New England. I'm also going to say you're going to want to start James White up against Cincinnati. There's a report saying that Julian Edelman may be out, could be hurt, might not be playing. That being said, I would expect James White to lead the team in targets as well as receptions. Probably, total, skill position player points. There's not really too many players that Tom Brady finds connection with in this offense this year. And if Julian Edelman's out, James White's really going to be the only one. And then I'm also going to say start Todd Gurley up against Dallas. Dallas hasn't really been having a great defensive season like they were supposed to. I think that this is going to be another one of those games where Todd Gurley, he could end up with 70 yards and one or two scores. I think the Rams are going to win this game. Todd Gurley is going to look pretty good. Again, with the sits, the busting, I said Melvin Gordon, don't expect him to be able to do very well. He's not a great receiving back, and that's the only area that Minnesota is susceptible to running backs. I'm also going to say sit Mark Ingram against the Jets. I think that the Jets are going to be bringing a pretty great defensive game plan this week against the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully Jamal Adams can play. He's right now he's doubtful. But if he does, then I would be really confident in saying you don't want to touch Mark Ingram. But still, I don't think he's going to be able to do extremely well regardless. Sit Devin Singletary going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know how much I like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and the Buffalo Bills offense isn't that much to talk about anyway. So because of that, I just stay away from him overall. Josh Jacobs, be careful about him. He's banged up a little bit, and then going up against this Jacksonville defense, I think that Jacksonville could potentially get up early and score, and just kind of hound down the middle. So expect Josh Jacobs, his production to be thin and hampered, if at all. And then Devonta Freeman. Don't let the week that he had last week fool you. He's going up against San Francisco this week. He's been a pretty reliable flex option so far this season. He's not really having that great running back 1 or 2 season that most of us thought he would with the Atlanta Falcons. But going up against the San Francisco defense, there's not really much that you're going to be able to want to say. He can do well. The 49ers are just, they're terrible to opposing running backs. They just destroy them. So stay away from Devonta Freeman this week.